Hi, my name is Owen Gruby, and this is my informative speech on using nature's sweetness. Nature's sweetest treat is starting to diminish because its population is slowly winding down to an all-time low, the honeybee. Honeybees are a very important part of the environment, especially in central Nebraska. Honeybees not only produce honey, but they pollinate most of the plants, crops, and also provide local jobs. Without the honeybee, farmers would not produce near the amount of crops, which means less production of food to feed the world. As you can see, honeybees can make a large impact on the environment, but their numbers are at an all-time low because of a number of factors including pesticides, destruction of habitat, and disease. We need to work to preserve our state insect in order to keep our environment in check. Most pesticides that are harmful to honeybees are dry and liquid pesticides. These pesticides, when bees land on the plant to collect pollen, the pesticide rubs off on the bee, either dry or liquid, and the bee usually immediately dies, or it can go back to the hive and contaminate the entire hive. In the database journal in 2018 of the impact of selective pesticides on honeybees, Polish Journal of Environmental Studies, Migdal, and Roman state, the study clearly indicates that selected pesticides used for the purpose of plant protection and plant cultivation may adversely on bees' behavior in accumulation of trace elements in their body. This comes from a study across the United States from the beekeepers reporting the death rates on their hives. The reason why these pesticides are being used is for farmers to help keep other insects, control of other harmful insects to their crops, and as well as plants. We can help control these pesticides, and in the database journal in 2017 of queen quality and the impact of honeybee diseases on queen health, potential for interactions between two major threats to colony health. Amir and Michaeline state that it is critical to understand the negative impacts of pests and pathogens on queen health, how queen problems might enable disease, and how both factors influence colony health. This is important because CCD, or colony collapse disorder, may occur. This occurs when a bee that is not immediately affected or killed by a pesticide travels back to the hive, and then the queen may become infected, and this affects the whole hive. There we go. And this affects the whole hive, and it can eventually kill the entire hive. Destruction of habitat. Why humans are destroying the habitat is because farmers are looking for more and more cropland, which in turn they tear up lots of bee habitat, which includes wildflowers or any blooming plants that bees can collect pollen on. What we can do, the USDA and National Agroforestry Center created a project in 2016 on how to create more habitat for honeybees. They suggested by providing abundant and diverse pollen and nectar sources, a diverse community of native bee species will increase adjacent crops, may yield more. Growers could rely less on imported European honeybees, and farm biodiversity and other wildlife species will benefit. They suggest also planting plants not only that bloom in the spring and summer, also to remember planting them in the fall as well. Disease. The USDA Department of Agriculture reported in 2016 that more colonies with symptoms of colony collapse disorder, or CCD, lost in the first quarter of 2016, with 113,930 bees lost than 92,250 bees lost in the same quarter in 2015. As you can see, there's a great number that were lost more. What we can do to help prevent, we just need to continue to repatch the habitat, maybe in pivot corners, just planting more flowers and plants that will help benefit the bees. The USDA Department of Agriculture also reported in 2014 that honeybees pollinate more than 90 cultivated crops with a combined annual value of $10 billion. Nebraska crops depend upon bees for pollination include alfalfa, vetch, sweet clover, sunflower, and other seed crops. In conclusion, we must preserve the honeybees, especially in central Nebraska. In central Nebraska, we must conserve the honeybee for our environment for future generations. Everyone in turn is affected by the busy bees that are working so hard to do their part to help provide for us in multiple ways. If we are more careful with pesticides, protect and build more habitat, and work to find a way to prevent disease, we can increase the honeybee population to improve the environment. We can make nature sweeter again if we work together to protect our state insect.